Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Deanna. So, Mercury is in retrograde again. Fucking Mercury is in retrograde once more. I want to talk about oh shit. I've noticed a recurring theme when it comes to Mercury retrograde. I always notice the same things, the same relative events happen to me during Mercury retrograde. And I understand with each time it passes, there are certain events in your life that are impacted, certain aspects of your life that are impacted. I totally get that. But for me, it's the same thing. And I'm not going to really get into that because it's difficult for me to get into that, to get into how exactly Mercury retrograde affects me without giving away too much personal information, as if I haven't done that already. I'm noticing a pattern, I'm noticing a pattern. And I don't quite like it. Oh god, I hate the pump on this foundation. This is the Born This Way by Too Faced, and the primer is the Optical Illusion Primer by Decay. But I always notice it comes with a lot of revelations, within me at least. And this is the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge that I'm using. Bomb. It's so good. But Mercury retrograde always comes with revelations on my life, different aspects of my life, and it always leads back to me remembering or having to remind myself to be a lot more selfish in who I allow to have access to me, in who I allow to influence me, who I allow to, take up my time, all of that stuff. It's all related to one another. And I never look into the meaning behind each particular retrograde, because to me that doesn't really matter. I feel like once you do that, once you are oh my god, Mercury retrograde's coming, what am I supposed to expect? Once you do that, you're kind of tricking yourself into just believing anything, and so everything that happens to you during that time, it's kind of it's all a sign type of thing, or it's all leading, it's all connected. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of you trick yourself into thinking things are happening for one reason when they're not. Sometimes life is just bad. Sometimes life just is not fun, and you just kind of have to deal with it. The topic of being more selfish with your time and energy, and being a lot more selective about who you allow to have access to you, honey, that is everything I'm about. But I'm really starting to see the importance in being a lot more particular about who you allow to have access to you. And one of the ways I've done that, I should have probably made a list, because I know I'm going to title this video how to be more selfish, but I didn't make a list or write this down or script this at all. I'm just kind of going off of the top of my head. How I personally like to be more selfish is just by saying no to people. It's so hard to do that, y'all. It's so hard to do that. I've tried making this video a couple times before as well, on how to be a lot more assertive, how to, demand respect more. But it's not easy. That shit's hard as hell. It's really hard, especially if you are a self-proclaimed empath and you are someone who can easily put yourself in other people's shoes, and you try to be as understanding as you can when it comes to their own situations. You try to be as understanding as you can with, okay, maybe you're acting this way because of, your own past experiences. Maybe you're treating me badly because you've never been treated good yourself. You try to kind of rationalize it. You try to make excuses for people, and that's appropriate sometimes. I do think that there are of course there's definite benefits and, pros to being an empathetic person and to constantly giving people the benefit of the doubt. But, there's definite pros to that. But at the same time, if you're doing that and you're excusing their behavior so much that you're just allowing them to fucking walk all over you, that's a dub. That's not, you can't allow that to happen. You can't allow that to continue. You can't allow that to be a recurring theme in your life. And I've noticed that's a recurring theme in my life, where I just let people kind of do whatever the hell they want with me and with my time, and they face no negative repercussions. They leave and exit the relationship, No, and when I say relationship, I don't always mean romantic relationships. Of course, I mean friendships, I mean family relationships, extended family, work relationships, you know, even education relationships, you know, with classmates and things like that. People, they leave the relationship unscathed, untouched, and learning absolutely nothing and facing no consequences for their actions. And by telling people no more often, that is so empowering. It is so empowering to say no to people. I think I might take off this scarf. I think my edges are like well and baked. Y'all, this wig is so tired. This wig is so old and tired. She needs to be retired like yesterday. It's so important to assert yourself, to let them know, like, stop fucking with me like this. Stop playing games with me. Like, this is not, my life is not a joke. My emotional state is not a joke. Even though you think it is, even though, you know, to you this means absolutely nothing, it's not a joke to me. This foundation's too dark for me right now, and it's like very bewildering. This is like a really light color. This is the lightest foundation that I own, and it's too dark for me right now. Seeing a little bit of the MAC Studio Fix in NC42. Just gonna do like one dot. But saying no to people. So when guys, and I am particularly talking about men, because women don't tend to bother me in this same type of way. Women don't tend to take advantage of me in this same type of way. Like even my women friends don't take advantage of me in the same way that my male friends do. They don't disrupt my life as much as my male friends do. And I love all my friends equally. I do have a lot of male friends that are very close to me, and I do consider them family. But they do still be stressing me out just as much as the men that I date. And it's like annoying. You know, they'll ask me to go out places with them or to do this and that, and I'm just like, no. Or like they'll say something rude to me, and I'll assert myself and be like, I don't fucking like that. Don't say that shit to me. Or like, don't do that around me. You know, you don't always have to say it with like that tone of voice or like in a mean or aggressive type of way, because sometimes that shit doesn't work. Sometimes that's not gonna help you get your point across. It makes a huge difference. And it's important for people to know, like, you're not playing games. That it's not acceptable to treat you that way, and that it's important to practice autonomy and say no, and to, I don't know, just to have agency over, it's just important to have agency over, you know, your emotional state. Another way you can practice being more selfish is practice self-care in the ways that apply to you. In the ways that apply to you. You know, your best friend saying, let's go out for drinks tonight because your boyfriend broke up with you and you need to go out and be a hoe. That's not always self-care. For some people, that's self-care, and maybe that was self-care for you in a particular moment in your life. But, you know, people change. That, like, I used to identify with that type of behavior a lot, where I would just be like, oh, he doesn't want to text me back? That's fine. Like, I'll just go out and talk to another guy. I definitely, oh shit, I got it in my hair. This is why I need a mirror. I definitely used to like identify with that way of thinking, and I still do. I still understand it, like, totally. But that's not helpful for me. That doesn't help me grow. That doesn't help me develop. That doesn't give me peace of mind, you know? That does not bring me peace and sanity. That doesn't, you know, center me or ground me so I can think clearly. Okay guys, so I'm gonna do my eyeshadow with the powder on. I'm not gonna dust away the powder just yet because if I get any fallout, I wanna be able to still wipe it away. I'm gonna be using the Give Me Glow Cosmetics Summer Vibes palette. Whew, she is so pretty. I'm just using the neutrals today. I'm gonna go in with Skinny Dip first. But, you know, for myself, self-care for me can be as simple as lighting incense and lighting a candle and just relaxing, you know? Self-care is different for everybody. And if your self-care involves drinking and it involves, you know, drugs and sex and going out and distracting yourself, if that's what self-care is for you, go for it and just be safe about it. Be careful about it. You know, maybe self-care for you is truly just doing whatever the fuck you want unapologetically, and that's more than okay. Like, you don't need me to tell you that that's okay. That's what you do. That's what makes you happy. That's what centers you back to where you need to be to make the right decisions for yourself. cutting people off is self-care for me. Cutting people out of my life. If I just like, if you don't benefit me, not necessarily I don't like you, but if you don't benefit me, I'll just, you know, I'll quietly cut you off. I'll soft block you on, you know, Twitter or Instagram, or I'll just delete your number, stop replying to texts. And I don't do it out of malice. I don't do it as like a fuck you to that person or to make that other person look stupid or whatever. That's just, I need to separate myself from you for whatever reason that may be. And like, I hope that they don't take it personal. Sometimes ghosting is acceptable, sometimes it's not. You know, cutting people off doesn't always have to imply ghosting. It doesn't always have to mean like you're just doing it without rhyme or reason, without, you know, explaining to them what they did wrong, because I also believe that that is something that we need to do more of. If someone fucks up, hold them accountable. Stop blaming yourself. God, I don't know how far I can get into this without like disclosing personal information. But let's say you do something with someone, or you go out on a date with someone, or you confess something to someone, you say something to someone, you bring them home to your family, you buy them something. You know what I'm saying? Like you show a gesture of love in whatever way that is for you. For me, I show gestures of love in so many ways that almost everything I do is personal. You know what I'm saying? From the way I look at you, from the way I talk to you, from the things I buy you, me suggesting to always, you know, go out and hang out with you. You know, all of those ways are ways that I show love to people that I care about. Sometimes you're just like, you know, you get fucked over and you're like, wow, I did that with them. You know, I laid down in bed with them, or I spent thousands of dollars on them, or I introduced them to my family and my friends. I included them into this private sector of my life, into a private sector of my heart. You know, I confided in them, you know, whatever it may be, whatever that level of trust was that, you know, may have been broken, or it may have been, you know what I'm saying? Like shit just didn't work out. It just didn't work out for whatever reason. It's so important to not blame yourself, because it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You did that out of love. You did that out of care. You did that to make them understand and to make them see that they're wanted. You know what I'm saying? That they are loved, that they are desired and respected and included. Don't call yourself stupid for doing that. Don't say you're dumb for, you know, thinking that that would have mattered to them. Don't say, no, don't do that stuff. Because that is you training yourself and you talking to yourself and convincing yourself to believe that that's a bad thing. That it's a bad thing to show love to someone in ways that are very personal to you. Maybe next time you'll be a little bit more selective about who you do that with, but you can never know. Like, that's another thing that's so scary. You can never fucking know. You never know someone's true intentions. You never know how shit's gonna work out in the future for you guys. Whatever relationship that is, if it's just a friendship, if it's a parent relationship, if it's a coworker, you never really know where you'll stand with them in the future. And so there's no way you can be careful in a situation like that. And it's so important not to blame yourself. You need to be proud of yourself, if anything. I'm very proud. I show love to people so early on because I just want them to know that they're loved. Like, it's plain and simple, like point blank. For me, it's very important to make sure that my loved ones understand that they are loved and heard and respected, and I'm proud of them, and I want to see them succeed in life. That's very important to me. And so that's my reasoning behind it. Behind, you know, buying people expensive things and taking them on trips with me, introducing them to my close friends of mine, speaking highly of them to other people. And I will never feel bad about that. I will never feel guilty about that, because that's good on my part. I set myself up for success in that area. I brought nothing but good karma onto myself. And, you know, if you did not appreciate it, if you were not in a space mentally to appreciate something like that, if maybe it's just wrong timing, maybe you just didn't want that from me, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's totally fine. This eyeshadow looks so fucking pretty. This eyeshadow is so pretty. But that's totally fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not for everybody. My personality and my type of love that I have to give and contribute to the world is not for everybody. And I've definitely come to accept that in 2019. Like, this year was very transformative in teaching me on how I love and how I need to change, or, you know, how I needed to at the time, how I needed to change the way I approached love and intimate relationships in life. But I will never feel bad for showing someone the love that I believe they deserve. Also, I will never feel bad about holding someone accountable for the fucked up shit that they did and giving them not necessarily like their medicine, you know, a taste of their own medicine, but I will never feel bad about letting them know that they fucked up and that they hurt me. Because God forbid you let that shit slide and it happens to someone else and it hits them way harder than it hit you, you know? Like, God forbid they do something worse to someone else and it affects that other person way worse. Okay, y'all, I'm about to take the shade. So I use the two browns. I'm about to take the shade Coconut Slushy, which is the lightest shade in the palette. And I'm gonna spray that with some All Nighter by Urban Decay, and just put that on my eyes. I've also, you know, another thing, I've come to accept the fact that it's not always my place to do that. Like, sometimes it's appropriate, and you'll know, you know what I mean? You'll know who you're talking to. You'll know your audience, quote unquote, who you're speaking to, and what it is they will absorb from you saying to them, or what they'll absorb from the experience. You'll know better than anyone else in that situation and in that time, hopefully. But sometimes it's just not your place. Like, sometimes it really just, it's not in the cards for you to be the one to expose their behavior. I think I'm just gonna use my finger. I feel like that'll be a lot more effective. Yeah. Because I definitely, like, it's so frustrating when you're trying to explain to someone the way that they hurt you and the ways that they have fucked with you, and they just don't get it. And you're just like, what? Why aren't you understanding me? You know what I'm saying? You're just like, why aren't you, like, why isn't it clicking in your head that what you did was fucked up? It's not clicking in their head because they don't want to hear it from you. You know what I'm saying? This is not the time in their life when they need to grow from that. Maybe to you, you're like, oh, hell no, you're too old for this shit. You need to grow up from it. But, you know, it's just, it's not the time for them to learn this lesson. They have there are other things in their life that are being worked on. It's just not in the cards. Plain and simple. It's just not right timing. And as frustrating as that is, as hurtful as it can be to know that, like, this is not the right time for them to be with you or to have this relationship work in your favor. That's just how it is sometimes, you know? Especially when it's like small shit that be getting in the way. It's just, you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles. That's just life sometimes. Yeah, this has really been my go-to eye look when I just don't know what I want to do and I just want to do something neutral. This has been my go-to eye look and it's so damn pretty. My eyes are like transformed, you guys. Like, this is just, it's just so nice. So nice. Let's finish off the face. I think above all, just, you know, being more assertive, being way more selective with the people you allow into your life. Stop seeking companionship. I'm talking to myself there because I am so guilty of that. And I know a lot of y'all are guilty of that too. If I'm guilty of it, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only bird-ass bitch in this room right now. It can just be that simple sometimes. Stop seeking companionship from people. Stop trying to actively make friends with everybody. Not everybody is meant to be your friend. Not everyone has good intentions for you. People, sometimes, y'all, there are times when people will go out of their way to gain access to you and to get close to you simply so that they can say that they had a piece of you. You know how sick that is? You know how fucking weird that is? That's fucking weird, at least to me. People, they, you know, they feel like important or powerful when, my wig is not glued all the way down, y'all, don't judge me. When they're able to say that they've had access to you in a way that others have not. you know, and we can relate this. We could relate this to a whole lot of other topics, okay? We can relate this to a whole lot of other fucking topics. This applies to so many different facets of life, revolving around women not having agency over their own lives and, you know, their own narratives, not having control over the narrative of their own life, which is disgusting and sick. It's definitely possible to regain that, you know what I'm saying? To regain control over the story, control over the narrative. It's important. It's so vital for us to do that. It's vital for us to teach our friends how to do that. I hate seeing my friends bent and upset over a guy or over a coworker or a manager. And it's just like, girl, you don't gotta be stressed over that. You don't have to be stressed over that. That relationship won't benefit you in a couple years. This was supposed to be like an advice video, and I just realized I gave no advice at all. This is the Lime Crime software blush in Wi-Fi. And this is like a cream blush. And then I'm gonna take the orange blush that's in my ABH contour kit, this one right here. Y'all, can you all believe I really be going out the house looking like this? But it all ties together. I promise, it all ties together in the end. You guys are able to understand, like, what it is exactly I'm trying to say. You know, what it is exactly I'm trying to convey here. You know, me talking to myself and understanding all the ways I communicate with people and the ways that I show that I'm uncomfortable, the ways I show that I'm unsatisfied and unhappy. You know, the process of me learning that about myself has definitely helped me deepen my other relationships by being able to then convey that to other people and to let other people know, give them a heads up, like, hey, once I start kind of shutting down, getting really quiet or like very stiff physically, I'm uncomfortable, like I have to go, I have to take a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's important to know those things about yourself and honor them and respect them and make sure they are respected and honored by other people. That's so important. And this mascara I'm using, this is the Essence Princess Lash. I think this is the sculpting version. Yeah, this is the sculpted volume, the purple tube. I don't really like this one. This one's not that good. If y'all are gonna buy the Princess Lash, buy the green one. Like, it's not bad. You guys can see the difference. It's not bad at all. Like, I could go out with just this on and I would feel okay about how my lashes look. But it's like nothing special. Like, I want something special. Was this a cohesive video? I really hope it was. I know I'm gonna go back and edit it and be like, what the fuck, bitch? But women give so much. Like, as women, we give so much to everyone around us and never think about how it affects us. Like, I'm getting ready right now to pick up an extra shift at work that I wasn't supposed to work. And I'm not complaining because I do love my job and I do absolutely love going to work and I love helping the customers and ooh, wow. I love going to work and helping the customers and interacting with them. I absolutely do. Like, work is my happy place. But at the same time, like, I have to think to myself, is this benefiting me mentally? Is this putting me in a positive mindset? Is this making me money? If this is not making me money, is this costing me money? Is this costing me time? Is this a, you know, a valuable use of my time? What else could I be doing with this time that I'm devoting to this? What else could I be doing with the money that I may be devoting to this? You know, what else could I be doing with this energy that I now have to exert? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves, not just as women, but as people, because I know that there's men watching this too. And I know that there's more than just men and women watching this. There's young people watching this. There's old people watching this. Family members are watching this. These are questions you have to ask yourself on a daily basis. Just to fucking, like, check up on yourself. Because people are not going to check up on you. It's no one's responsibility to check up on you. I hate that shit. I hate when I see on social media, people are like, oh, you're so busy worried about other people, but who's checking up on you? No one has to check up on me. I'm a grown woman. It's nobody's job or responsibility to check up on me or to make sure I'm good. Unless you hold a specific role in my life where, like, I would expect that of you. Like, if you're my man and you're not checking up on me, hello. But you know, if you're just my friend or my coworker, I'm not gonna expect you to keep tabs on me like that, because that's not your job. You got your own shit that you're worried about. I respect that. I got my own shit that I'm worried about that is my responsibility to deal with. So the lip we're gonna wear today is Urban Decay Nighthawk 24/7 Glide On Lip Pencil. How am I gonna have a YouTube channel and not include makeup in it? You know, make it make sense, beloved. I'm gonna take Urban Decay's 1993 lipstick. I've never worn this before. It's a very cool tone, but let's try it on. Ooh, the sun's coming out. Oh shit.